What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 59. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'm the hunter, going the streets of something again.
Hey, butchering Dawkins, man.
Dude, I couldn't remember the words.
Brian Majoma.
I'm such a tool that I'm going to start giving Call of Duties 9-point-something out of 10.
Yes. And joining us again, our good friend Alex Nuss.
What's good, everybody?
You're both the first and second person that's ever been on this show to throw down your questions.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna count Chris. He was on here for like 10 minutes. I don't know if that counts. So you've been here for full of them. Okay, Brett will be here eventually. He's finishing off work, and Chris is trying to find a yarb. Trying to get the monies and stuff. So. He'll be here for Throwdown, regular Throwdown. Let's see. I actually wanted to ask some guy some stuff. Actually, you know what? Let's start with some funny shit. Brian, let's talk about this Call of Duty thing because this is hilarious to me. We got to tell people.
Call of Duty.
Yeah. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 review went live sometime this week or weekend. I don't care when, but it went live at some point. I don't care. And they gave it a 9.2 out of 10, which is beside the point. And I was like, okay, that's the high score. So I went through it, started looking at stuff, and what they wrote in the review doesn't seem to match up with what the score they gave it. It seems to be very strange. Yeah, it just seems to be just very odd. So I was like, okay, there's something not right here. So I decided I'd just go through all the Call of Duty reviews that they've ever done. And hold on, I have a list here.
Hold on, Brian, you forgot to mention the most important part. So at the end of it, okay, the game got a 9.2, right? They have cons and pros, right? Usual stuff. There's 4 or 5 things listed for pros and nothing listed for cons. And when Brian showed this to me, I'm like, wait, the game is 9.2. That means it's not a perfect game. There's no cons. What the fuck is going on here? So then I read the whole review. I'm like, and the guy goes, oh, the story wasn't really that good. I'm like, why didn't you list that as a con? Then that would make sense why you dock some points. What the fuck?
They expect you to read that review.
Yeah, because here's my thing. I'm like, okay, if a game has no cons whatsoever, that automatically makes it a perfect game. That should be a 100 game right there. Why wasn't it 100 if there was no cons? And then this guy had a con in there. Why the fuck didn't you list it? Anyway, Brian, go on. So you did some digging. You looked through the other Call of Duties, and you found?
I found out that apart from the second one, the third one, Ghosts and Black Ops, the first one, they all had a 9-point-something score, which I think is a bit fishy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
There's no way that the game that comes out every single year is on a 9-point-something level. That's the laws of numbers just says that's not really possible.
Yeah, I mean, I've found this fishy for years now. Obviously, Call of Duty's been doing this for almost 8 years now. So I'm this time. Yeah, it's crazy. So this is a disconnect I started noticing. Okay. All these sites, I'm talking about the big ones, IGN, GameSpot, all these guys, they always give every Call of Duty game a 9 out of whatever, right?
Ooh,
then, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, can I just jump in? Just to just have to do some more research. I went on GameSpot, and they gave it a 7, which seems to be a lot more realistic, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's
they even said that it feels like the same old tired Call of Duty formula as well, which I think that makes sense. It's a yearly title. It's
Did they list any cons for it?
Hey, the thing is, I mean,
doing it to the end and care that much.
I mean, when you have ads on your site that for Call of Duty, I mean, you can't exactly,
Yeah, and
you can't exactly trust the guys that are giving the reviews, especially if they have a big old ad that probably overtakes 90% of the screen when you go into it.
Yeah, not exaggeration, 90%. But what I found interesting, again, they always bring up Call of Duty, right? 9 out of 10, 11 out of 10. They just give these crazy high scores, right? Yet when they do their Game of the Year things every year, Call of Duty's never there, and none of them ever talk about Call of Duty either. And oh my God, this game! I'm like, if you gave it such a high score, why don't you guys never talk about Call of Duty? Call of Duty drops, that's it. They stop talking about it. Yet a game, yet they're going to be talking about Bloodborne. They're going to be talking about Metal Gear, for the game, for the Game of the Years. Call of Duty, it's gonna be fucking, you know. They're not gonna talk about it. It's just interesting. Yeah.
I used to wait until they do like the Fallout review to see that get lower scores than Black Ops 3. The conversation would be crazy. Like you thought our conversation was crazy, like on the Throwdown. That's nothing compared to what will go out. Just go down there.
Yeah, so it's just disconnects. Yeah, it's just disconnects with Call of Duty. Before we go on, Manny, I wanted you to tell this story on Throwdown, but we kind of glossed over it. Tell us the story with your cousin Adam.
Oh, okay. So my cousin Adam, he is was he was the hugest Xbox fan out there. Anyway, while I'm on vacation, I get this random text from him, and he goes, "Well, I'm done with Xbox. I'm going full PlayStation 4 now." He's like, I'm only gonna really play my Xbox for the exclusives that come out, but other than that, I'm all PlayStation 4 now. Now, this coming from the guy who literally jumped on the first Xbox and that was it. I don't even think he owned. He had a PlayStation 2, but he went cold turkey Xbox and Microsoft stuff. So I don't know. They must be doing something.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to the whole thing where they said 75% of the people who own a PlayStation 4 have never owned a PlayStation system. Mm-hmm. He is kind of sort of one of those guys. I still remember that.
He only got the PlayStation 4 last year. Maybe not last year, the year before. Maybe 2000. What is it? End of 2000, early 2014 or something like that.
Yeah.
So he only just got that thing.
Yeah, I still remember what he told you. He was like, "Hey man, the Xbox is just for the Xbox 360 specifically. Xbox is for hardcore gamers. You want hardcore games? You buy an Xbox." He was one of those guys, Yep.
Xbox.
Go ahead, Ben.
He didn't give any reasons why he was just
his reasons. I'm thinking that mostly the reasons is because he's getting a lot of deals and stuff from more than on PlayStation side. I think he recently got that PlayStation credit card, so he's getting games up the ass. They keep giving you games. They keep giving you digital download games. So I mean, he's mostly been playing on PlayStation 4 as of late. In fact, I did a remote play session with him to help him out when Super Meat Boy and The Order.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's only playing The Order now. He's like, yeah, I got it. When I first got the PlayStation, I got The Order, but he's like, I stopped playing it back then, and I decided to start it up again.
Yeah, The Order's not that bad of a game.
No, The Order's good. It's a good game.
It's a sharp-busting game, and I mean, especially with his schedule. Especially with his schedule, I mean, he could easily beat that game right away. There's certain games that he kind of goes all out with, Halos. Oh yeah, and he also said fuck Halo.
Wow.
he said fuck Halo. I'm over Master Chief.
Wow.
And that's his response to the new game that just came out.
And this is the Xbox guy, man.
That's the Xbox guy. So take take that as you will. I'm sure we're gonna get a shitload of comments on the bottom, your cousin's an idiot and all that other stuff. But,
let's see if we get more comments than we did for the last episode of Throwdown, which came out on Thursday. Holy shit! It exploded. So, Alex, did you see the title we had for that one?
Oh no, yeah, I listened to it. Last night at work, I think.
The fire was in their eyes, and their words were really clear.
Did you like how we told everyone at the end? We're like, which systems for the gamers? Both of them.
Yeah, honestly, I was waiting for you guys to come. I was like, everyone likes say PS4, but yeah. No, I didn't like it. And it was like, yeah, we get whatever you want.
Funny thing is that it actually total up
totally even
counts each console got. It got an even amount for both of them. So it honestly just came into the same amount for both. But yeah, people were upset and calling people names and stuff. Oh gosh, people are so sensitive.
The final breakdown.
They're all so sensitive. Stop being so sensitive.
Yeah, the final countdown was me, Chris, and Manny. We all said they're both for the gamers. Brian, you said Xbox. Brett said PlayStation 4. So that's totally completely even right there.
It's down the middle.
It's true, man, but people lost their fucking mind. Damien came out of the woodwork getting mad at me. Tony, why you being hypocrite? You always talk about Xbox.
That's what comes back?
Did you guys? I think
we literally did that for how long though?
Wait, you say that again, Brian?
We spent so long just like criticizing PlayStation. Like the first hour, it's like, oh yeah, PlayStation Pros were like much shorter than PlayStation Cons, like by a margin load.
Well, they were like get right to the end.
PlayStation cons were bigger than Microsoft cons, but no one seems to realize that. They were like, you're like, oh, you Sony pony spent an hour talking about PlayStation because we had more shit to complain about.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: PlayStation still has a lot of hurdles to get over as far as networking and all that stuff. You know, as far as all that stuff, even getting the operation system to a point where people it becomes nice and easy to use, and there's problems. No one's perfect.
Yeah, so the comments just went fucking nuts, man. Damien.
One guy.
By the way, he was like, Tony, how come you got mad when people were talking shit about the order, yet you talking shit about Halo? I'm like, listen to the episode. Did I say anything bad about Halo? No, I didn't. I reacted to what Richard said. I can't say anything about Halo, good or bad, because I haven't played the fucking game. I was just reacting to what Richard said.
I'm thinking that everything that's negative on the show that they don't like automatically gets attributed to you.
and I got shit on Twitter too from Daniel, Coel or Sewell or whatever. Mm-hmm. He got pissed. And then I had to throw Chris in there because he was like, oh, Chris doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, he has an Xbox, man. Yeah. He knows what he's talking. Oh, and Damien, come on, Damien, that was dirty. You calling Chris a liar? How is he a liar? Come on, man.
Come on, guys.
Oh man. Oh yeah, but out of all of that, we made a new fan.
Oh.
I'm gonna give this dude a shout out, and I'm sorry for butchering your name, but it's very interesting. So it's like. Ligament. Oh, it is Ligament. Okay, Ligament. He found us. I'm guessing through N4G. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. I actually stopped posting on N4. Throwdown on N4G for but the entire summer. I was like, fuck it, we don't need N4G. And then I was like, hey, let me try a new tactic. I'm gonna post it on N4G, but I'm gonna post the audio instead, and the audio started going up. So he came on and he said, I'm just paraphrasing what he said. He's like, hey, I really like your comment section because it's a lot of people just debating. It's not a lot of bullshit. He's like, there's a couple of guys in there, but for the most part, and he's right. We have one or two nutbags. Damien, how do you know I was calling you a nutbag? Did I say Damien? Like, why did you just decide to call yourself a nutbag? I didn't call you a nutbag. Was I talking about you? You don't know who I was talking about. So aside from a couple of screwballs, our commenters are pretty cool people, and he was like, hey, I like Throwdown. I'm gonna keep checking you guys out. So
thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, man.
and dude, by the way, this guy's a true gamer. This dude has like every system since like the Atari 2600. Like he had to post 2 pictures. He has this huge collection, even doubles of consoles, man. I'm like, okay, this guy's a true gamer.
I'm gonna tell you the guys this. Tony doubted that for a second. He's like, oh yeah, this guy just posted a bunch of consoles to me, and I'm like, dude, that's probably his collection.
Yeah, because I was like, no way, dude. He had 2 Saturns, man, like the Japanese one and the American. I'm like, no way. And then man, you convinced me that was in fact his. And then he posted another one because somebody was like, hey, where's the GameCube and Nintendo 64? And he's like, here you go, with like 50 other consoles. I'm like, damn.
That's a man that keeps it all. I mean, even myself, I cut down my consoles at some point.
Oh man! All right, so let's get right into it. Fan questions, and Mr. Final Stage Boss as always starts us off. Man, you're gonna like this question. Why are the Metal Gear so feared and such a big deal in the Metal Gear games when one man takes them out with a rocket launcher every single time? I have an answer for this. Who is that man? It's either Big Boss or Solid Snake, the most badass soldier ever. That's why.
Well, they're kind of forced to have one man take it down because you can't really send the U.S. military after a Metal Gear without without causing a conflict with Russia or whoever. Whoever has the Metal Gear, so they have to use one man. So.
Yes, because Metal Gears are often secretive. They're not. Nobody's supposed to know about these things.
Yeah, it's a man on a sneaking mission, but it's the most badass soldier ever.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, they're putting it. It's masking. They're putting you in the role of like a badass, covert soldier, and that's what it is. You know, it's like, well, how, when you get to that point, you start having to analyze all kinds of other things in the Metal Gear series. It's a game in the end. It's a cool game, but yeah, it's that. You know, it's like you're playing. You also think about like Escape from New York and stuff like that. That's one man going in there saving the president.
Yeah, or like Die Hard. It's like, or Die Hard. How does like the same guy keep having bad days like
exactly?
That?
How does John McClane every single step of his most steps of his life always have to deal with some sort of terrorism? you know?
Or Jack Bauer, who's also Snake now. It's like, how do you have 8 shitty days like that?
Yes,
you know,
all in a row. It's like, man, we picked the wrong week. Let's wonder if we do the week in 24 where nothing does happen, where Jack Bauer is kind of laying in his house, taking his kids to school.
Yeah, right.
You can start out with Heavy Rain, like he can just be drinking orange juice for like a whole episode.
Yeah, just like
shower.
Or you can do like Shenmue, where you just don't play the game at all and play Hang On all day.
All right, next question here. Brian, you'll like this one. Why do people compare review scores of totally different games reviewed by totally different people? All I'm hearing now is how can Metal Gear Solid 5 get a 10 out of 10 but Halo get a 8 out of 10? Is this stupid? Go ahead, Brian, because I know you wanted to talk about this.
Well, Tony knows my thoughts on review scores in general. They're just which is quite funny to say that, considering the stuff I've done before. They're quite dumb. I don't like them. Simple enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that is just ridiculous to reduce a game to just a number that represents that game in general, which is not saying a lot, because that number doesn't actually tell you anything about most things about the game. Like, what does a 9.2 tell you about Black Ops?
Absolutely.
The first thought is, oh, it's a quality title since it's a high title. Yeah. But what does that tell you about the story? What does that tell you about the gameplay? What does that tell you about the performance? What does it tell you about the major themes that was brought up? What does it tell you about how good the multiplayer is? Nothing. It's just a fucking number.
Yeah.
And the main problem is people use these numbers to like compare against each other. It's like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, it's a fucking number. It's ridiculous. Just don't give a damn about them. That's completely off topic what the question was, but that's my.
Yeah, that was close enough. I mean, yeah, it's because people are dumb. That's the short question. People are fucking stupid. It's like, listen, you really shouldn't, because they say it like this, like, okay, IGN gave it this. They don't see it as the person. It's like every review is done by a single person, and every review is subjective. It's an opinion. It's not a fact. Right, and I know they try to make it factual by throwing numbers, which is ridiculous. How can you put a number on something that's subjective? That never made any sense.
Yeah, it's like trying to put a number on a piece of artwork.
Yeah, how do you do that?
You go over to Picasso's piece, like, I give that a 5 out of 4.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, wow, that must be really good.
4 out of 5, excuse me.
And like everyone will give Picasso's work a different rating. Like everyone at IGN will give Picasso's work a different rating. Everyone will give Call of Duty a 9.2, 9.5, 8.2, whatever it be.
Yeah, it's like, IGN, why did you give Picasso a 4 out of 5, yet you gave Michelangelo a 5 out of 5?
Yeah.
It's like, this is a different guy, you know? It's fucking ridiculous. So yeah, why do you do it? Because people are dumb, that's why.
Well, it's like the only way you can compare like two completely different games besides sales, but sales really isn't fair.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, because I could actually go off on this right now, but I'll save it. But yeah, it's just dumb. It's like, how does Metal Gear Solid scores impact Halos? It shouldn't. You know, it's a totally different type of game. Don't even compare them. You know. You should compare Halo to other Halos, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You should do it to other Halos. It's like you say to a person,
and even then, remember, it's still somebody else could have reviewed that game, you know. So, why did Halo 5 not get a high? Yeah, exactly.
And then there's the other part of it where it's like, okay, so now you know, some people base their purchases just on reviews.
Yeah,
like
they're lazy.
And it's interesting. I mean, review scores. Sorry, rather than actually reading a review.
People are lazy.
Should not do that. That's a very bad way to do your gaming. Because
Yeah.
Like I stopped way back when the first Borderlands came out, and ever since then I've just been happier because again, like the games that I've enjoyed, they haven't really been rated that high. Games like Dragon's Dogma and Lost Planet 2, both games around like 6.5, and it's like, okay, that's fine by me, but yet I enjoyed them. I'm happy.
Also, you have to use a fair amount of judgment on your own. Like, you can actually, I mean, you can kind of tell what games are going to be. Like, I mean, there is also those points where you kind of have disappointments, like what I have with Watch Dogs. But initially, when I saw Watch Dogs, it looked like something I wanted to play. Unfortunately, I didn't listen to, despite the reviews, I still, went and bought it anyway.
Yeah, they bamboozled you, man.
Yeah, but what you gonna do?
Yeah. All right. Next
It
up,
happens.
last question from Final Sage Boss. If Microsoft wins the month of October NPDs, do you think they will announce it even though they said they won't measure their success on console sales anymore? I love this question because yes, Microsoft, they said like, oh yeah, we're not going to talk about our console sales or sales in general. We're going to talk about the success of the console in general. We're going to talk about Xbox Live subscription. I guarantee you, if they win NPDs, they're going to fucking announce it. If you win, and this goes back to Halo 5. Why do you think they didn't announce those sales numbers? Because they're kind of low compared to other Halo. If that shit sold 3 or 4 million in a week, they would announce that shit. Easily, they would announce that shit, along with the sales and all those other arbitrary stats that really mean nothing. So yeah, if they win, if they win in October, they're gonna fucking announce it. I guarantee you that shit. You don't. Oh yeah, we won. We don't need to tell anyone that. Get the fuck out of here.
They're gonna shout that off the rooftops.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just again, the only thing that's different between what they're doing now is that they're just being more transparent about what they're doing. Usually, if a game doesn't do well, you don't hear that. You only hear the good side of things. This is in this situation with Microsoft, they're actually saying, yeah, we're not going to talk about that stuff. We're just going to talk about the good stuff, even though before they do the same thing, they just wouldn't tell you they're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. All right, what do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Alex, get in, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they will. I think they might not, maybe not right off the bat. See if they continue their success into November, and then like, hey, this is how many units we shipped and sold in the holiday season. But yeah, if they win, they will.
Brian.
It's NPDs. My immediate answer is I don't know. I don't care. Seriously, I don't care about NPDs. I don't care that Sony's winning like this generation. I didn't care that Xbox was winning last generation. It's just like I just generally just don't care. To me, like NPDs are just like review scores. They're like an arbitrary number that doesn't affect me at all. Like PS4s can sell like 3 million copies in 2 days. Don't care. That certainly won't make my PS4 good. Xbox can overtake PS4 in sales. That certainly would not make my PS4 worse. It has no effect on my life at all. So I'm just like, if they win, they win. If they announce it, then they announce it. And if they do what Final Stage Boss is saying, then they're a bunch of hypocritical assholes. But if they don't, then they're not. So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, by the way, people, just so you know, if you ask Brian which version is better, it's like, hey, is the Xbox version better or PS4 version? What are you going to tell him from now on?
Yeah, I've now decided, since apparently I'm a tool for saying something that I think was an obvious fact. Yeah, if you guys get Tony, you have no idea how close I was just flipping the switch and saying it doesn't matter because PC is better. I was so close to saying that, but I was like, no, okay, no. This is strictly about the consoles, nothing to do with PC. Leave all the PC stuff out of my head. Just argue based off the consoles. And I sat there just arguing with people about which console has the more diverse library, and just people don't seem to understand how things work. Just because a console has more games in the library, it doesn't mean that it has a more diverse library. Just means that it has more games. So, so yeah, if people want to argue about that, then I'll turn around and say it doesn't matter because PC is better. And just ended that.
Yeah, Brian and I got it hard this week, man. People were pissed at.
They're still pissed at me now. You know,
Yeah,
I need
of
to go back.
course.
I have like 3 new comments to like respond to.
Well, it's always good. It's always good when you guys get heat too, because it's usually me taking flack, and which is ironic because I'm the guy that talks the least on this show. I host the damn thing. I just keep it moving, but people get mad at me. Oh man,
I don't get much mad.
you don't get okay. Actually, Manny and I were talking about this the other night. Here's the hierarchy of how people get pissed off at people on Throwdown. I always get the most flack, right? Second is okay. Here's where it kind of becomes a weird tie, and I'm going to try to explain this. Hope I'm not going too much of a segue because I wanted to say Brett, Chris, and then Brian, right? But here's the thing, Brian, you don't get too much heat, but when you do get heat, you get heat. You know, so it kind of evens it out with Brett, and then same thing with Chris. Chris doesn't get too much heat, but when he gets heat, he gets fucking heat. So you gotta kind of go up where Brett is, because Brett gets heat every other week or so for whatever he says, and me, it's just constant, you know.
But me, I guess I'm an angel. Oh.
Yeah, the only time you got something was you got some shit from Damien. It was on Twitter like 2 years ago. It's like, why are you always talking good about Sony when you were talking about the fucking 3DO, by the way?
Yeah, and I even said it to him, like, I'm just talking about talking about 360, yo.
Yeah, because you were asking, like, wait, like, how come no one's talking about the fact that Sony ripped off the 3DO with the, jack on the controller? That's what you were asking. He's like, why are you always praising Sony?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I'm talking about 3DO, baby. That's what I said.
All right, let's move on here. Mr. Fern Gully. Here's a statement here. Glad to have Brian back on the show. You bring an interesting balance to the force, mate. He goes, particularly when you make reference to LOL Snake Girls. We need more girl references from you because that shit is funny.
Oh, don't know that's something that's not funny that I read on Twitter. So, someone actually wrote an article complaining about female soldiers or playable female soldiers in Call of Duty. They were like, it encourages females to be violent now. I'm like,
of course.
Like,
wouldn't
really?
the male soldiers be encouraging males to be violent?
No. That doesn't matter. That it's males. It's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just there like these guys just like they move the goalpost like it's nothing. Seriously, they just move it like it's nothing. It's like, oh, we want this. Okay, they get that. No. And now this is now our problem. Like, so then, do they not want female or playable female soldiers? Like, I don't know anymore. But yeah, I thought that was funny.
By the way, on a related note, somebody posted up because our favorite person, Anita Sarkeesian, she's gonna post her review she's gonna post her review of Tomb Raider tomorrow, right?
Well, it's a 10 out of 10, obviously.
Yeah, so she goes, I'm gonna post my review of Tomb Raider tomorrow, and somebody replies with, let me guess, the video's gonna consist of talking about how misogynistic the game is, and you plugging your next project. Like, yeah, that sounds about right. You know, asking for funding and shit. All right.
Isn't Tomb Raider like the one where you play as a female killing like all male characters?
Yes, but that's okay.
Ain't that some shit?
The thing is that there's not going to be. The thing about this game is that there's not going to be anything good about it, even if it paints women in a nicer, better light. It's still going to be a game that has a problem.
Yeah, remember when Laura was?
She's probably gonna maybe bring up the fact of why does she have to use violence to solve her problems?
Yeah, why can't she talk to these guys with the guns?
To be honest, I just
why does she have to do? She'll be like, why does Lara Croft have to do all the same things that guys do? Why can't she do something that's uniquely female?
Yeah, you mean like pissing sitting down? Like what?
I don't know.
Brian,
here's the thing about her, and I'm hoping that people get this through their skulls. If she meant well, she wouldn't be constantly asking for funding. This would be a non-profit organization. She's just looking to make money off of everything, and she can never be happy with anything that's out there. Nothing. Because it essentially goes against her, the way she makes her bread and butter.
Yeah,
that's her bread and butter. She has to be against pretty much everything that's out there in order to continue to be relevant.
And making
Because
that
if
money.
she was a force for change, she'd be doing stuff like she'd be donating her time. She wouldn't be, people wouldn't pay her to come on to some show. She would be like, no, I want to put this towards something else.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
making the lives of women better, in the industry, or or to promote games made by women, stuff like that.
It's ridiculous. Brian, what were you gonna say before?
I just want Lara Croft to go back to shooting raptors.
Yeah, yes, T-Rexes.
Hey, maybe this game, we don't know.
The one thing about the new Tomb Raider games, and it kind of it's kind of lost the kind of fun of exploration, and it's just kind of become all actiony. As fun, as cool as it was, but old Tomb Raider games were more about the exploration side of things than actually shooting the shit out of everything. Now it's like she walks into a room and everyone's like, "Go get her!" That's my only. I mean, it's a cool game, but that was my issue with it, because that's part of one. Even though Tomb Raider wasn't exactly my favorite series, I always felt that was the strength of the game. Going deep into these mines. Oh shit, there's a big old place there. And then you solving puzzles or trying to figure your way out of there. That was the old Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the developers, and he said they're trying to bring that back for the new one. So we'll see about that. More tombs to explore, all that jazz.
So now she doesn't hate tombs.
Yeah. All right. He also threw a comment here for Brett. Brett's not here right now. I'll just skip to the last part. He goes, whoever calls this show the Sony down needs to ask themselves if they own a PS4 like Chris does, an Xbox One. And after you find the answer, please tell me how my ass tastes. Throw down for life, bitch. All right. So here's his questions. The first one, Fernbelly, you gave us some great questions this week. All right. If fanboyism was a sickness, what is the cure/remedy? What steps can one take to get back on the road of being a true example of a gamer that all up-and-coming lovers of video games can aspire to? By the way, I threw this question up on Twitter the other day, and like half the people responded with euthanasia or kill them. So yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, let's run with this. So if it was a disease, like an actual disease, right? What is the cure for fanboyism?
Play the other consoles.
Having your console die and having to essentially reluctantly go to the new console.
Hey, that was a jab at me, you son of a bitch.
Hell fucking yeah. This guy was the total Sega man. Anything, like any new company coming along with a freaking console, he's like, no, that's not a fucking new console. That's Sony just makes TVs.
So there you go. See, I'm the perfect example. I was the mega fanboy for saying everything else was shit. Fuck it. If it ain't Sega, I ain't buying it. When the Dreamcast died, it's like like I said, I've said this on the show before. I really was like, Manny, I think I'm not gonna play games anymore. Like Sega's dead. What am I gonna do?
I was in my head. I'm just like, you're gonna play.
And then of course, like, what's it? 3 months later, like, one of our friends, he got a cheap PlayStation. I don't know how he got cheap PlayStations. Just I don't know. Maybe he got him off the back of the bus. Like, hey, PlayStation 2s, you want them for $150? Like, fine. And that cured me of the fanboyism.
The thing is that cured him of the fanboyism. But the thing is that even with the Sony console, he was just like, oh yeah, no, it's the thing I play the games on. But he never forgot about the Sega stuff. But in other words, it kind of opened him up to more console stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Even though in those early days, I was still fanboying in a sense. Like when Xbox, I'm like, Americans making a console? Get the fuck out of here! The Japanese make consoles. They're full of shit. So yeah, I like both of those answers. Great shit. Brian, what about you, man?
Either jump off a bridge or get a PC. Either or is fine with me.
Well, yeah, if you have a PC, you're not going to be a PlayStation or Xbox.
You're going to be a PC fanboy.
Oh yeah.
It's slightly more tolerable. Slightly.
Well, yeah. If you're a PC fanboy, then all that means is you're playing all your games in 4K. 20, 100,000 frames per second.
See, this is how snobbish PC fanboys are. They don't call themselves fanboys; they call themselves elite. Like another reason to hate them.
The elite.
Or the master race.
Yeah.
But we kind of are.
I would say. You know, the thing about seriously speaking though, the thing about fanboyism, it comes from really just liking the thing that you've made the choice of getting. There's Metal Gear fans, there's Sly Cooper fans, there's all kinds of fans.
I'm going to stop you right now. There's a difference between a fan and a fanboy.
Oh, yeah.
There is a huge difference between that. Because a fanboy is blind. A fan is just a fan. You could be a PlayStation fan, not be a PlayStation fanboy. Understand? There's a difference there.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. Like fanboys tend to masturbate over the consoles, both metaphorically and literally.
I hope you guys saw that shit on Twitter. That was fantastic. This dude goes to PlayStation. He starts jerking off in front of a PlayStation 4. Oh man, the PlayStation pervert. Actually, they're not calling him. Fantastic. That's a fanboy. That's fanboyism right there. Or a certain somebody on our comment section. That's a fanboy for the other system. Oh,
but I mean, also, definitely a fanboy will defend their choice, as to what they've made. I just feel like, I don't really
that's what I wanted to say, Manny. Jumping on what you've said a bunch of times. You know where fanboyism comes from? Fanboyism comes from a place of insecurity. You bought a system, you can't afford the other one, so you have to justify your purchase, and you take personal offense. Because let's be honest, if we all had money, we'd own every fucking console.
Yeah, I know. I would.
Not to.
Yeah. Exactly. That's how you know you're a fanboy. If you're like, I am not going to buy this console, just like I used to be, I'm not buying this console, that makes you a fucking fanboy to the extreme. If any real gamer, no real gamer is going to deny a fucking console in their house. No real gamer is going to deny that shit. The only type of quote-unquote gamer is a fucking fanboy. And then I'm going to question your gamerism right there. Because, come on, man, if you're just looking at one console and you just say everything else is shit, every region is shit but America, I know, I'm pointing out somebody specific with that statement, by the way. You may not even be a gamer at that point. No real gamer is going to deny having every console. I would own every fucking console.
I mean, back in the day, I owned both a Genesis and a Super Nintendo.
Yep,
at that point in time, I didn't really have. At that point in time, I never made that sort of Nintendo Genesis does thing. The artificial console war that they kind of created.
Yeah. So there you go. Just buy all the consoles if you can. If not, just enjoy your shit. Why do you have to knock other people's consoles? That shit makes no sense.
Here's the one thing, though. To Tony's defense, he didn't trust any console maker, anybody making consoles who didn't make consoles beforehand.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
Sony jumping into it. Even Panasonic's 3DO was sketchy for you, right?
Yeah, it was because I was like, you guys didn't make consoles. What the fuck?
Well, I can understand that if it's her first console,
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, but there you go.
But I'm like, yo, man, what about Atari and that shitty Jaguar?
Yeah, no. Well, the Jaguar was just shit. That thing was terrible. All right. Next question here. Oh, I love this. This one's so funny. So, how can others protect themselves from fanboy/fangirl extremists? By the way, before I go to the rest of the question, when I read this, I literally imagined a dude with explosive Xboxes strapped up to his chest, running into a mall and blowing himself up. All right. So yeah, how do you protect yourself? The following are just a few offered suggestions. Silence, offered below by Torrance Davis. Straight snapping on him, like with a few lighthearted, well-placed expletives. Must tread lightly when doing this. Take the bait. Most everyone on this board. Allow the fanboy, fangirl to take over and result in you eventually leaving the site. So yeah, like what do you do? How do you protect yourself from extreme? My thing is like, dude, I say troll them hard.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
troll them to the extreme, man, because that's where it gets fun when you start trolling them. You start pushing those buttons, man. That's when it gets fun. So that's my suggestion. Just stir up the hornets. That's even more. Have fun with it.
My thing is just pretend it isn't even there. It's like having a crazy person in the room. As long as you don't pay attention to the crazy person or don't give him any sort of eye contact, you're pretty good. As long as if you start looking at him and then telling him he's crazy, he's gonna go crazy on you. So just let the craziness kind of run out, and then have the real adult conversation about consoles.
Oh man! All right, Alex, I think you agree with me on this one, right?
Yeah, like Chrome. Like if they're talking about like I don't know, if they're saying Killzone's the best first-person shooter in the world, just say I disagree, or like you don't have to like troll them hard. Just be like, nah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah. See, that's what I do all the time because I get so much shit from Xbox guys. I always like to troll Mac, and I think this is why everybody's like, "You're a Sony fanboy." I like to troll you guys because you make it so easy. It's fun, and I like to instigate, as people know. I like to instigate shit, so I can't help myself. I have to push buttons.
See, I don't do that. I just continue if we're having a conversation, and it's like being in a room again, like with the crazy person, and also like they start screaming, and we're like, we're still having a conversation. And then if they start getting really crazy, you just move to another room and let them be crazy in that room. It's like being on the subway.
Like, that's subway protocol in New York. If you see the crazy person, look down.
Just look down or move to another car.
Yeah. All right, Brian, what do you suggest?
Well, the safe option is just stay away from the internet, but the fun option is to instigate. That's the truth of it. No, stay off the internet just generally works because you don't get any of the nonsense. But then, if you instigate them and like push them, then you get to see like really funny things from people.
Dude, I'm swear, like these days, I think 70% of my tweets are just instigating people. It's just too much fun. It's just a blast. And people they keep falling for it every time. So I keep doing it over and over again. Oh man! All right. The last question here from Mr. Ferngully. Please give your thoughts on what you think the next From Software Sony exclusive JRPG is that's currently in development. Picture below, and whether this is an indicator that Sony is thinking of bringing back JRPGs in a big way. On the last part, Sony already is bringing. Here's the thing: Sony has a lot of JRPGs on PS4, but it's not really Sony's bringing them. Other companies are bringing them, But From Software. Can you please do a sequel to fucking 3D Game Heroes? Like that's all I need, man. Give me that shit, man, please.
Yo, man.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was a good game. I think that game had a little bit of trouble for one reason. It was just done so late in the game, for people to get really into it.
Yeah, but I'm down with that, man. Whatever, I don't know if it's an indicator of this, that, or the other thing, but From Software doing a JRPG, give me that shit. That's all I got to say about that, man. What about you guys?
Sure.
I'm not really a JRPG fan, so I don't really care. But I might check it out if everyone tells me it's cool. Then yeah, I'll check it out. But I mean, I'm not hyped for it.
Yo, man, you so hyped. Voice.
All right, Brian, any thoughts?
Well, as long as it's not a Souls-esque game, then I'm fine with it. Because I don't want From Software to be labeled as the Souls guys.
Yeah,
I don't want them to be in the same rut as Polyphony Digital is, where it's these guys only make one type of game and that's it. So, it's fine for them to have that go back to from time to time, but something else would be nice, like 3D Heroes sequel maybe. I think that'd be good. Did that game ever come out on Vita at all, by any chance?
No, because the Vita didn't exist at that point. It was the PSP that was out. That should have been a PSP game. That would have been great.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity there.
Yeah. As long as it's not a Souls game, then I'm happy, because I think that at this point, there's you just don't want to oversaturate the market with a type of game. It's not good.
I think they already did, honestly. I'm
really?
Right out of Souls.
They are getting close to, I'd say. If this is one and it's coming out within the next 2 or 3 years, then you just need to stop because it's too much.
I mean, Dark Souls 3 is already coming out in a few months, and then if they announce a Soul or Bloodborne 2, and that's coming out next year in 2017, then
they're officially just oversaturated.
That's just too much. Yeah, that's just too much.
And let's not forget the fact that we had Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne the same year. So they're already going crazy.
Mm.
All right. Next up here, my man Phantom Vash. First off, congratulations, Tony, on your new job at Geek.com and PC Mag. Keep up the hard work, man. I will, sir.
Yay!
All right. So he goes, what are your thoughts on the fact that Sony, PlayStation, the PlayStation themselves are publishing a game, Helldivers, on Steam? Very interesting. And this, by the way, Phantom Vash, man, like, you need to be in the industry, dude. You know shit that I don't. Like, half these questions, I'm like, I don't know about this shit. You always do this. It's fucking great. It's like, I think I'm, from now on, especially if this shit really kicks off with these, if I ever become like a permanent guy, I'm going to hit up Phantom Vash like every day. Like, yo, man, you got some good news for me, man? What's up? And this guy knows so much good shit. So yeah, Brian, what do you think? I want your thoughts on this. PlayStation.
I just found out now, actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I didn't know either. Very interesting.
Did not know that. It's weird. Like, usually people talk about stuff like this when it happens. It's weird. I guess that Fallout 4 was just overshadowing like anything and everything.
Yeah, basically it's the shadow.
Yeah, that's odd. Because actually, I was just talking to Phantom Vash about, well, not Phantom Vash. I was talking to someone in the comment section about Sony published games on PC, and it's like, you just don't do it, and I don't know why. So maybe they decided just to start doing that from now on. I don't know, but hey, more games on more platforms, always a good thing.
Yep.
Well,
I can't complain.
I think also the thing about Helldivers is that it's not exactly like a AAA type of title. It looks more like a smaller type of title. But I think the thing about the thing about it is that those sorts of kind of top-down sorts of games and like that seem to do pretty well on PC, and I think that's just them trying to extend the how many sales they get on a game like that. Sometimes you do these sorts of games that are kind of PC set that feel a little bit more at home on PC and put them on consoles, and they don't do exactly very well. So I'm just thinking that that's their way of saying, okay, we kind of know that this may not do that great on a PlayStation. It might, but we still want to make sure that we have that back end where maybe the PC guys might jump onto it too.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on here. I think with this game, it's a test. Like, hey, let's see how well this does on Steam. Hey, if that works, let's get another PlayStation game on there. I'm with Brian 100% on this. If you could get a game on as many consoles as possible, go for it. I think it would be cool to get like Uncharted or any of the big AAA games on PC. And by the way, I find it ironic that I'm saying that, right? Yet Xbox guys don't like their games on PC. They're like, no, we don't want a PC. We want an Xbox only. Yet I'm like, hey, shit, Uncharted, God of War, put all that shit on PC, man.
Imagine God of War on PC. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know Brian is jizzing himself right now at the thought of that.
Well, I already have my Dragon's Dogma, so to be honest, I don't care that much about anything else. Maybe Gran Turismo, but that's about it.
Yeah, so that's what I think is going on. I think this is a little bit of test. Hey, let's see what's up. Let's put a game on Steam and see how people react to it. If you react favorable to it, we'll put something else. If you react favorable to that, we'll put something else, and just keep testing it. No problem with that at all.
I definitely don't think that you'll see something like an Uncharted or the God of War on there.
Oh no.
I don't think you will see one of those main big titles on there. Like,
maybe like stuff from like Studio Japan or something like that, right?
Nah, you probably won't see anything from Studio Japan. You'll probably see some of their other, essentially they're having other studios create games for them, kind of deals like that.
Okay, so no Journey, nothing like that. You don't expect?
No, I don't think Journey's gonna do it.
You never know. Hey, I say get it on there, man. I think that's a good thing. Although it would kind of invalidate you having a PlayStation.
Exactly. That's exactly why I don't see every single game coming to it, but I do see certain ones coming to it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Very cool stuff. All right. Next, this is a fun one. What is your favorite gaming peripheral of all times?
Ooh, for me. It's got to go back to the old original Nintendo, the Max Pad, where it had like a kind of like almost like an analog D-pad, an analog kind of D-pad on it.
That, yeah.
And it had normal A and B button, and it also had an additional turbo A and B button. That was an awesome controller, and it was fun because it was also shaped really good too. It had like that kind of boomerang shape that the Xbox kind of has right now.
Yeah. You know, even though I was skeptical about it at first, when I finally got to play it, I was like, "This is cool." The Knights controller for Sega Saturn with the analog stick. That was like the
Hmm.
first analog stick game I ever played. I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." You know, this is pretty nice. And I also did like some of those like the Sega because the Sega Dreamcast had like a weird kind of shape. It was a good shape for most games, ever fighting games. So they made a specific Sega Saturn-esque controller for that. I don't know if it counts, but you remember Rumble Packs? I kind of like.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty cool peripheral. It's like, oh shit, the controller's shaking. This is crazy. You
Well, I
know?
mean, the thing is that the only console that I had a Rumble Pack was the Nintendo 64, where it was an add-on you stuck on the bottom.
You know, but the Dreamcast had it eventually. You know, that was my first taste of it, like
Hmm.
Dreamcast Rumble Pack and stuff. It was by Mad Cats too.
Hmm.
You know, but I thought that was pretty fun. I always liked the light gun from Nintendo and stuff. You know, the first peripheral I ever played, obviously. Remember the
Yeah.
Super Scope 6, man?
You want to hear something interesting about the Super Scope? Wasn't actually a Nintendo peripheral.
Really
It was made by Galoob or something like that. It wasn't actually them that made it,
interesting.
but they made it. They put it in Nintendo colors.
Yeah, exactly. I remember buying that shit with Star Fox. You know, like for Super Nintendo. Now I know, yeah. So I know Star Fox was for Super Nintendo too, people. Just so you know. And what else? I never had the Power Glove, but I saw people with it. You
That was
know,
a lousy
yeah,
peripheral.
that thing was kind of stupid. It looked cool, but it was dumb. All right, Alex, favorite peripherals.
I don't really have like since I'm younger, I started with the PlayStation 1, so I never really had all these like old Nintendo things. But
What about the multi? What about the multi tap?
no, never had that. I got that well, I did get it from my friend, but that was I got it for PS2 once PS3 was already out, so I never really used it. But
Mm.
I do have to say PlayStation VR because I played it several times and it's fantastic. I love it. I didn't play
Yo,
Oculus yet though, so I can't compare it. But PlayStation VR is crazy.
dude, those guys that make that one VR game, they love Junkie Monkeys, man.
Oh yeah, Gorilla, Cambridge. Oh man, because we played that game every day at E3, and then the final day we challenged them, and it was
Did you guys win? Did you guys win?
no, oh no, like the third day when we played like three randoms, we won like 14-0, and then when we played Gorilla, we lost like 2-13.
Oh shit, they
Like,
murdered you.
oh yeah, they know exactly what they're doing.
They created the game.
Well, yeah, clearly
So
they know all the strategies. They know
it
everything.
would be kind of sad if they actually if the game studio actually loses to the random people that come up to play the games at the
Well,
show.
I beat David Jaffe at Drawn to Death. I won $5
yeah?
from him.
Nice.
Did he?
Yeah.
What did he say to you?
Oh, it was me. It was a four-way match between me, him, Chris, and Will, both from my site. And
Mhm.
basically, Chris and David Jaffe were talking shit to each other. And then David Jaffe's like, "I'll kick your ass. I'll put $5 on it." And Chris threw $5 on the floor, and then we all just put $5 in. And then I ended up winning the match. Jaffe had to go real quick, so he got real mad. He just ran away.
Like, guess you. He's like, and it's the guy that didn't say shit that beat both their asses.
Yeah, well, I was filming the whole time. I could.
Oh man, that's awesome. Right, Brian, do you have any favorite peripherals?
Not really, but I'll just jump off the whole VR thing since it's VR and VR is awesome.
Did you play it yet? Like Oculus or anything?
Not the PS4 VR, but I played. I think Oculus Rift. I think that was DK1 back in the days. Yeah, DK1.
Hmm.
So that's a long time ago, and even then I was just like hooked. So.
Oh yeah, VR is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can I ask you a question on what you think about when on the past Games Week when PlayStation was advertising the VR? What do you think about that? Like, because
Like when they're showing off during the conference, or
yeah, because I'm in the camp. Well, me and Tony are in the camp. Well, sorry, Tony and I are in the camp where
Yes.
Tony and I are in a camp where we feel like the problem with VR is that you can't advertise it the same way that you can advertise like normal stuff, which is like
Yeah.
usually they show some footage and then they show like reactions of people being excited. It's like one of the things where you have to experience it. So like during that section, like we both like this is not going down that well, you know, like just felt a bit off.
well, you can't not talk about it at the same time.
Yeah, but then it's just
Have it,
like
so-
showing it off is very difficult. It really is.
Yeah, you can't have everybody watching that press conference test it out real quick. Like you really do have to try it.
And even so, like even if you stuck VR glasses on everybody at the conference, you still got like thousands of people at home watching it on their computers, and it really doesn't come
across. They just watch people going like, "Hey, man, this is crazy, man."
Yeah, they're like, literally like what they show on those stupid Sizzle videos. In fact, on the Sizzle videos, they didn't even put like VR helmets on the characters. Got a little blurry there. Now I'm blurry. Oh, there you go. So,
they need to bring those things to like Best Buys and GameStops. Like they need to push this thing really hard and like have people try it out because it really is special. It's something great.
Yeah, I mean, they need to. I said this. They need to take it on tour. Take it on tour.
Yeah,
PlayStation had tours before. I know they had tours for the games and
when
shit.
the PS4 was about to come out.
Yeah, have a tour on that shit. You know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but this is Sony. They do so horribly with fucking marketing. You know, that's the problem. You know, no one's gonna remember me saying that. By the way, this is Sony down.
You said what now? You said something about Xbox having bad marketing, Tony?
I think that's what happens, man. There's a filter out there, you know.
Somebody's actually going into the show and just switching every problem we've had against PlayStation, turning them into Xbox problems.
By the way, you know, this is off topic, but still on topic. Fuck you guys who keep posting Throwdown without our permission. We're gonna find you and kill you. It's fucking stupid. These fucking idiots, man, on YouTube, like, posting our shit. It's like, what the fuck, man? And they keep propping up.
Great news.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. They don't come back to us, though. You know.
That's I mean, do you at least? I mean, you can at least send flag the video.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they do it for all our videos, so it's like, you know, I can't do them for all of them.
Dude, sit there and flag all that shit.
Yeah. By the way,
YouTube will get the idea.
I have an army. Hey guys, if you see Throwdown on on fucking YouTube and it's not by us, please report that shit.
Or at least has a link back to us.
No. They're not profitable.
You don't even want a link back.
Guys. No link backs. I want those guys gone. I want them murdered. You know.
Oh wow.
In the whole.
For the record, Tony doesn't mean like murdered in the literal sense. Just means in the metaphorical sense of just gone.
Yeah.
You have to clarify.
Yeah. I want those videos gone along with the families of those videos. All right. By the way, these next.
We need breath here sometimes.
Yeah. By the way, these next two questions, I'm Phantom Bash, man. You're just embarrassing me right now, man. I don't know about any of this shit.
Uh-oh.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on the fact that Wild will have multiplayer similar to that of Bloodborne? I didn't know about that, but that sounds pretty cool to me. Yeah.
I thought it was like a single-player only game or something. Wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, Bloodborne is kind of single-player-ish. You just some dudes come up in your game sometimes, you know. So hey, that's cool.
Wait, so in Wild, people can invade your game and you can co-op with people.
I guess if it's similar to Bloodborne, and that's the case.
To me, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe you could leave like messages like, like scout area ahead or stuff like that. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Ride that bear over there.
Especially like you're just having that you fighting those giant monsters and all that stuff. That'd be cool to team up with somebody on. So definitely, sure.
I'm down with that, man. All right.
I'm thinking about the whole like invasion thing. Like I think that would be like a cool idea. And, like my thoughts are just like you invade someone's game, you like hijack like a bird, and then just shit on them, and then just leave.
Yeah. You can hide inside like a camp.
Simple enough,
scouting out.
Yeah, man. Hijack their bears and stuff. This is my bear now, bitch.
I think also like the way that shaman looks is also probably unique to each person. So it's kind of like, I want to have a wolf head on me. It's like that.
Yes. Oh man! All right, yeah, unanimous right here. That's pretty cool. All right, the last thing, I didn't know about this either, but man, this gets me angry because it doesn't surprise me. What are your thoughts on Capcom giving in and censoring our Mika in Street Fighter V? Why am I not surprised? Why am I fucking not surprised? So you know how she so basically there's this one movie that she does with her partner where like they kind of body slam a guy and like their legs are all spread apart and stuff. Their opponent. Now the legs are a little bit closer, and then her like finishing animation or whatever, she slaps her butt. Now the camera is further up, so you don't see the butt slap. Somebody put up a great picture, and I've said this too, so it's just funnier. It was Armika in a fucking burqa.
I've seen that.
Yep, I'm like, there we go. This is where we're gonna head as a society. This is where we're heading. We're all gonna be wearing burqas, and we're not gonna talk, just so we don't ruffle each other's feathers and shit. Fucking ridiculous. But then the mumbles are gonna be offensive to people. That's fucking crazy.
I like the way that people who don't actually who actually play these games can complain about something
and have power
and have power over it.
That's a great and I'm glad you bring it up because these people are complaining don't play any fucking video games, man.
Do you see any of those those higher up Capcom fighting nuts complaining about how their fucking characters look? No, they just fucking play the game, and that's the biggest problem. Why are you getting involved? What, just because, so all of a sudden, just because they did this little change, does that mean you're going to play it? No, you're not going to fucking play it. You're going to go complain about something else that offends you.
Yeah, of course, but the funny thing is they didn't change anything about Armika. It's just the same character, By the way, I just find it funny that when she was released in 1999, no one said shit. No one said a damn thing about her design.
No, because now everybody is sensitive,
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. I'm not surprised. Go ahead,
Alex. Maybe the also the fact, because the Japanese are known for kind of fan servicey sort of stuff, all right. But then there's the other thing. It's like, what if a bunch of women were making Street Fighter games and they decided to do the same thing? Would that be considered? Would it be the same thing?
Yeah, because that has happened. Like, remember they were considering Tomb Raider, sexist, even though it was written by a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else? Bayonetta, she's really sexist, even though the character designer is a woman. So, yeah.
Again, my whole take on this is just any time that this happens is just a bunch of nonsense. I totally agree with all you guys are saying. No question about it. It's just depressing. Honestly, it's like, how can these people have so much power over stuff like this? It just bamboozles me.
Maybe we should start complaining about other things. Complaining about things that are just not related to us too.
Basically, exactly.
We should just totally ruin other people's fun. Like, oh fuck, I hate cars. Cars are offensive to me, especially red cars.
Well, at first I thought, like, when you first brought it up, because I didn't hear about this, but I thought maybe they're trying to lower the rating, but I guess it's like the soccer moms complaining about the game.
Yeah,
soccer moms aren't playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start complaining about sports. It offends me.
Yeah. Sports should be more inclusive. There should be more women in professional sports.
Yes. Yeah. Well, actually, no. They tried that. The WNBA. No one watches that shit. All right. Moving on here. I can never pronounce your name, dude. GZDR for Ev All Games. I haven't seen you in a while, dude. So it was good to get your stuff here. All his questions here are all kind of related too, which is interesting. Okay, so Activision just spent $6 billion for a new IP to boost their mobile gaming. That's not a new IP, by the way. So the question should read: Activision just spent $6 billion for an IP to boost their mobile gaming presence. Should Sony purchase Sega to help boost the PS Vita presence? No, because the PS Vita is dead, essentially. Like, there's no help in that thing now. So no, it would be.
No, stupid. It's here's the thing. It still has one thing about it is it has a really devoted base. Yeah. But the biggest problem with the PlayStation Vita is that no one's buying it. But everybody who has one is buying every single thing that's for it. Mm-hmm. That's why they're not. That's why they haven't totally quit it cold turkey. So, for Sony to purchase Sega, it really doesn't make any sense for Vita games. And the thing is that also Sega hasn't really done very many Vita games.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if anything, buying Sega is you're just buying the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even the Sega name's not worth much anymore.
No, it's not exactly a trusted game, but especially with their lackluster amount of like one maybe a semi hit here and then just another piece of crap Sonic game.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next question here. If Sony could hire Kojima to revive one of these three dead franchises, which one would you like to see him work on? Either Siphon Filter, Resistance, or Twisted Metal?
Well, the thing is
I'm just gonna say I don't like any of these. I can't say okay. Honestly, I can't say anything about Siphon Filter. I never played them. Twisted Metal I never liked, and Resistance was just.
I mean, I would guess Siphon Filter because Kojima hasn't really done any racing games before, and I think he's more interested in telling stories than just having a bunch of cars bash into each other.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Resistance.
Yeah, Resistance, Fall of Man.
Resistance. Resistance. I don't see, again, another game I don't see Kojima actually working with. For the main reason it's just kind of an alternate universe war game, and third-person shooter type of game, and even who was it? Insomniac.
That was
Insomniac.
Even Insomniac couldn't get that thing to work.
Yeah, and that was their game.
And that was their game, so yeah.
I guess by default it'll be Siphon Filter.
Siphon Filter is the closest to what Kojima would do. I would say he's looking for a more a single player aspect. Shooting may not exactly be the total thing about it. Essentially making it kind of into a Metal Gear clone. But at the same time, I don't think Kojima would even do something like that.
Yeah,
I think once he gets off of his thing and he starts designing his new game, it's not going to be Metal Gear. It's not going to be anything that you've seen. It might be E.T.
Get him to bring back Jumping Flash.
Yeah. You got to look. You also got to look at his lineage of games, like. He went from, like sneaking games. He made like story-driven point-and-click adventures, and a kind of a goofy what is that? Like gimmick game where you use the sunlight. You have to go outside in order for you to play this game. So
Zone of Enders too.
Yeah, Zone of Enders, but Zone of Enders is not exactly his.
Yeah, it's kind of his.
He's only a producer on that game. The chief guys that are that created that game are the actual director of the game, and Shinkawa.
Yeah. All right.
I'd like to see him on an RPG game. I don't know what game, because I'm not big on RPGs, but I'd like to see him on something like that.
Yeah, like what if he brought? I mean, I don't know. He could maybe do Rogue Galaxy if they decide to do a sequel of that, or what was that one RPG from the PlayStation 1? It wasn't
Dragoon, something like that.
Yeah, Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
All right. Out of these three, which one do you pick, Alex?
Well, Resistance is. Well, I don't like Twisted Metal. I just don't. And Resistance I do like, but I mean, Kojima on Resistance, that doesn't make sense to me. A Siphon Filter, I guess. You got to.
Yeah. Brian, what do you say, man?
Same again. Like, there isn't really like a contest. Like, I feel like his talent is better spent on Siphon Filter. Like, he's used to the whole military espionage aspect, so that definitely seems to make more sense.
Well, what's Siphon Filter about? I know it's a stealth game, but like, is there like a storyline?
It's been way too long since I played it.
Yeah, all I know is some military type game. Like I said, I've never had any interest in Siphon Filter.
Yeah.
I wish Chris was here because he's the big Siphon Filter guy.
He's the huge Siphon Filter fan.
Yeah. All right. Moving on here. Oh yeah, this one is kind of weird. If Sony sold off their other divisions and became a gaming-only company, would they have enough money to buy either EA or Activision? And would you welcome this move? Hell no, they wouldn't. No way. You're talking about a company, Activision specifically, that just spent $6 billion on a fucking mobile game. Like,
they're not getting that much money from.
Yeah. Sony is not going to be able to buy them.
Because nothing they have is profitable besides PlayStation right now, so I don't see them selling anything for a lot.
That's part of the reason why they're cutting down all their divisions. Their TV division got cut down. All of their, they closed down their PC business. They don't make PCs anymore.
That's why they made that deal with Marvel for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Come on.
They're big. The things that make them the more money is kind of their films and the PlayStation division. They make, in general, Sony does make decent products, but they don't make their products are not like seen on the level of like an LG.
Yeah, or Samsung,
Or Samsung.
So yeah, no. Hey, it's an interesting what if, but no, Sony just would not have enough money to buy either of these companies. They're too huge. If anything, it would be the other way around. Activision, man, they're fucking gobbling up everything, man. Like I said on the last show, it's like it's like that animation from World War II. It's like Germany's here and it just becomes this giant whale that eats up all of Europe. That's Activision right now, man. It's crazy. All right.
I could see that more. I could see Activision buying PlayStation.
Buying Sony. Yeah. Man, that's some true shit. Oh, wouldn't that be scary? Oh man.
Oh, I'd sell my PS4 on the spot.
Yeah, get the Activision station, man.
It would totally be. It would just be advertisements for all of their games, and then they'll do stuff like the only place that you can play Call of Duty is on the Activision station.
Yeah. Oh man! All right. Next up, Mr. Michael here. Where is the hype for Tomb Raider? It comes out this week. It's a damn good question. I'm not hearing shit about
it. Comes out the same day as Fallout. You're not going to get hype.
Yeah. No one's out. Yeah.
Everybody's talking about Fallout. No,
I'm not talking about that.
You're not talking about Fallout?
I'm not. No. I am too, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
This is just a bad time of year for that because like I watched an interview and it's like someone asked them, why is you coming out same day as Fallout? Well, if you move it a week back, you come out the same day as you came out like the same time frame as Call of Duty. Call of Duty came out like Friday, Thursday, whatever. If you move it a week forward, you come out same day as Battlefront, and then move it 2 weeks back, Halo. You move it 2 weeks forward. You can't release Tomb Raider. They should just release it in like December or January or something. It's just a bad time for Tomb Raider.
This is why Just Cause is smart. They're like, December, fuck that shit. They're like, nope.
Well, they're also probably like, geez, we don't need to have another Mad Max Metal Gear situation like last time.
Yeah, I was like, nope, we is moving, man. Tomb Raider. You're right. November, don't release games. It's like these got these heavy hitters. Look at this. Call of Duty is out. There's a new Call of Duty. No one's talking about that shit either because they're talking about Fallout.
Oh yeah, because Call of Duty is the same thing every year. So if you're in the Call of Duty camp, you know what you're going to get. But Fallout.
But here's the thing. Still, Call of Duty's going to do gangbusters.
When Call of Duty comes out, it's going to be number one on NPD, and it's going to be on NPD until next year. But at the same time, no one's hyped for it. This situation right now. Yeah, exactly. This situation right now is just like GTA. Remember when GTA 5 came out? Everybody's like, Call of Duty's going to blow it. It's like, are you fucking stupid? GTA comes out every 5 years. It's going to murder Call of Duty. That's exactly what happened. Fallout might be in that same situation. I know Fallout is not as big as GTA, but people are more hyped for it because when was the last time we had Fallout? We had in 1998. 2008, the last numbered Fallout.
Literally when the new consoles came out. Around maybe a year or two.
Yeah, the beginning of last gen. So now the beginning of this gen, we got another Fallout. So this is literally a franchise comes out once a generation, right? People more hyped for that.
Didn't we get that other Fallout? That
numbered, Brian. Numbered. I know we got New Vegas 2 years after.
No, that other one. Fallout Skyrim.
I like that. Yeah, people are gonna get crazy for that too, but. Yeah, Tomb Raider, I guess it'll sell well when it comes to PlayStation 4 next year.
We'll call it the something edition. It's gonna have all those new outfits and everything that you get from the DLC.
I totally want to say something, but I'd rather not.
Say it, Brian. Yeah, we need more hits, man.
So they're going to release like the Fallout, the Xbox edition, and then next year you're going to get the good edition. And after that, you'll get the PS4 edition. The PC edition comes out before the PS4 one, so that's.
When does the PC come out? True. Like January?
I think like springtime, which is really strange. So I guess that Microsoft had some sort of weird ass deal where they pretty much just said like, yeah, Sony consoles, just fuck those guys.
When's the Wii U edition come out?
I think the 32nd of February.
Yes. By the way, that game coming, it's coming to PC in spring. A smart time to release it, not in the middle of this fucking madness. Wow. All right, moving on here. By the way, Dio, you're lucky we like you, man, because you snuck in these questions at the last minute, son. So we got you, man. All right. What film of 2015 this year would you recommend others check out before a holiday, say, for instance, to the non-occasional moviegoer before, the big one hits theaters in December? Go see the new James Bond movie, because that's the only other good movie worth watching this year.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
I'll suggest Goosebumps.
Oh.
It's a fun movie.
I was going to suggest it's a Christmas movie with Seth Rogen in it. I'm like a huge Seth Rogen fan, so like I'm really hyped for that. Comes out the 20th.
Oh yeah, that was the movie Manny and I we saw a preview for that. We're like, this still looks fucking stupid.
Oh no, I love that type of comedy, like the really stupid comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. Brian, what about you?
Okay, I recommend that if you like sci-fi, then definitely check out Ex Machina. That was really good.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Wait. Whoa. It needs to be in theaters. It needs to be in theaters now.
Oh, in theaters now? I thought you meant just movies
No.
that came out this year. So
because he's recommending a movie that you go see in the theaters before Star Wars comes out. So it has to be a movie that's out now or about to come out before Star Wars.
I thought it was like 2015. What film of 2015? So just any film.
He said holidays, before the holidays. So yeah.
Yeah, like what film that's come out this year would you recommend before watching?
If we're gonna do that, then I'm gonna say Age of Ultron, then, man. But no, let's keep it this. Let's keep it.
Well, I don't know what's out in the US though. That's the thing. Like I can just talk about what's been out this year, like what to recommend for this year thing. So I say just go that.
Oh, The Martian's in theaters too right now. I didn't watch it yet. I hear it's good though. I want to watch it.
I didn't enjoy it that much.
You didn't? Oh.
I'm more, but then again, I'm more like a space sci-fi, not space, like a space guy. So Interstellar like sold me more, but that's just my personal preference.
I didn't really like Interstellar. I watched it at the airport when I was waiting for my plane at E3.
You're talking about The Martian, right?
Yeah, Martian.
Yeah, Martian was Interstellar was shit compared to The Martian.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Interstellar fucked up with that ending. That's what happened, man. Like the movie was good up until, ironically enough, until Matt Damon showed up. That's when the movie went downhill.
Yeah. Either way, list of films that have come out this year that I would recommend seeing. Ex Machina, if you like AI-related films.
If you if you want to see the prequel to Detroit, go watch that.
Came out this year or last year? Because I'm not too sure with Chappie.
Yeah, Ex Machina came out this year. I saw it in
Chappie.
Chappie was last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Age of Ultron, because it's Age of Ultron. And
yes.
You totally should. Mad Max Fury Road was really good.
That was a good one.
There's one more I'm forgetting, but I can't remember right now. Oh, Fantastic Four.
Why?
So that you can hate yourself.
No, he was asking for good suggestions, not.
Well, if you watch a really bad movie and then you watch Star Wars is going to be so much better. So.
Yes. You could actually watch the original Fantastic Four and get the same experience.
Or just watch paint dry. Pretty much the same. It has to be grey paint blue. It's the only way to get the full intensity of Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have more fun than Fantastic Four, just lay your dick down on a table flat and take a hammer and go to town. You'll enjoy that far more than Fantastic Four.
Well, the thing is that people actually do enjoy stuff like that.
That is true, and I'm pretty sure you could. What I just described, I just made up on top of my head, and I realized it's probably online somewhere. It's probably a fetish. Hey, dick stomping. Oh man, the internet's a weird place, man. I'll tell you guys one video I saw off air because I'm not talking about that shit on there. That's crazy. You want to talk about mutilating your junk? How about you remove it on video? It's like, damn, dude, really? All right. Next question here. This is a fun one. What multiplayer game type do you prefer added with a great campaign? Either it's a fully cooperative experience or complete competitive experience. And in your own opinion, which multiplayer game type do you think will last the longest for gaming generations to come? Great questions. I like that. Okay, so Alex, go ahead. What do you prefer?
Well, I personally I prefer cooperation because frankly I'm not like when it comes to shooters I'm not that good at online. Like it's usually the niche games I'm good at. Like I'm used to be good at Rocket League. Apparently not anymore. um, I'm kind of good at Last of Us, but like besides that, like I'm not good at online games usually. So I like co-op because then if you're not good, you're not good with somebody else, and you both complain and you know.
You can both be not good.
Yeah, exactly. You both be not good together. It's not someone's better than you.
Yeah,
But,
you pretty much
gonna last longer.
Exactly. Yeah, you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. That's me. I'm all about co-op more than competitive because I suck. I'm trash at it. And this is a combination too. It's like which one of these types would you want to be integrated into single player? And I think co-op works better than competitive. Imagine if you're trying to play a game, right? You're trying to complete the story, and the enemies are real people. You're not going to finish that game.
Isn't that what Brink was?
Was that what Brink was? I
never played Brink, so I don't know. But I thought that was what it was.
Yeah, but no. If you're gonna, I don't know, but I wouldn't want to face against real people in a single player campaign. No, because that's a roadblock.
I'm sorry, unless if it's like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, where like you get both, and like that's the only way where it's like competitive multiplayer in the story is good. Like I liked it.
I guess if you integrate, I didn't think about that. I guess if it's done that way, then it's fine. But I still prefer co-op over everything. If you're gonna do multiplayer, you do co-op. That's me, Manny.
Yeah, I'm a co-op person too. I like the idea. I mean, one of the things that I always thought was really cool about the Gears of War games is that you could have, pop in and out co-op. Your buddy could be, sitting next to you and just turn on the other controller and he's already playing Dom, or, the online jump in and jump out that they used to have. I always thought that was cool. So, and I wished quite a bit more games. I wish Metal Gear, the new Metal Gear, had it, because that was one thing that I really enjoyed about Peace Walker.
Peace Walker, yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, you can play your normal game. That's cool, but all you need to do is just like, hey, man, I need a little help fighting this boss. Then, bam, we're playing.
Yeah, even Destiny does that too, man. You jump into your buddy's game and you're helping him out and stuff.
Or even Portal had it too, where the kind of co-op, literally its own co-op campaign with the two silly robots.
Yeah.
Brian, what do you say?
Co-op all the way. It's a lot more fun. Like things are just more fun when with a friend, regardless of what it is.
Yeah,
apart
and
from
then
that's not fun with friends.
Yeah, yeah, and then to answer the second half of this, I think both of them are going to be equally last as long. They both have, because remember, there's like an equal amount of people who like co-op and an equal amount of people that like multiplayer, competitive multiplayer. So I think both of them, they have stood the test of time, even though co-op is now emerging more than it has in the past. But yeah, I think both of them are going to be equal and stuff. If you're going to have multiplayer, either going to be cooperative or competitive and stuff. It's not going to be like competitive is going to completely outdo co-op or vice versa. That's not going to happen. They're both going to stick around.
Well, I'd say co-op's kind of falling off, like not drastically, but like Halo 5, for instance, it doesn't have.
I mean, the game still has co-op, but just couch co-op.
Like on the couch co-op is dying. On the couch multiplayer.
We said that shit plenty of times, and people get mad at us too. Like, no, couch co-op is fucking dead. That's the truth.
I used to love that. I used to like fuel gaming right there. Like couch, and couch multiplayer too, not just couch co-op.
Oh yeah.
Like competitive.
Yeah. But yeah, that shit is gone, man.
Yeah, see, now they just made it to the point where you literally have to buy 2 PlayStations or 2 Xboxes for some of these situations.
See, and that's when I like competitive multiplayer. When your buddy's right next to you, you get to talk shit. That's when I like it. If it's some random assholes, like who are you? I don't care. There's no emotional investment in there.
That's the one missing portion of games, like literally having that person next to you, even when you're playing in the arcade, that random person that's next to you, and you kind of not wanting to piss them off, especially if they're like a person that looks kind of fucking dangerous.
Yes. But the thing is, you can also play psychological games with them too.
Exactly. Like in other words, you just you let them win, or I've had situations like that where you're going against somebody and they just let you win for one round. You're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. I'll give you one. Oh man. All right. Anybody else have anything to add to that? I'm gonna take that as a no. So moving on here. Okay, so this last one. Okay, so it's a little bit a long one here. So he goes, I was gonna tweet at Guillermo del Toro about him possibly ever working with Kojima-san to revitalize Zone of the Enders into a movie adaptation. Then I figured, wait, it would be too many challenges in place of whomever owns the rights of the franchise and how much control Kojima-san and Shinkawa-san would have. And lastly, what the fuck with the current state of Konami Japan? I knew the closing of the LA studio was coming, but damn, that was fast. LOL. What are your thoughts on that matter? Yeah, Zone of the Enders movie? No.
That's happening. Here's the one thing about Zone of Enders, though. I mean, they haven't had very good luck with media that's outside of the actual video games. If you've ever seen those two Zone of Enders things, the miniseries they did and the OVA thing, they were pretty shitty. I mean, granted, it's something that would totally, lend itself to being an anime, but man, those things were pretty bad. Kojima, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, Guillermo said, that in a tweet maybe not that long ago, which I retweeted. He said, if Kojima wants to work on anything, I want to do it. So
they're pretty much going to work on something.
That pretty much answers. That's pretty. Yeah, they're going to make something. But yeah, and Konami, that's just the way it is. They're on their scorched earth program.
Burning their own land.
Yeah, they're burning their own land and closing up all the doors, and then. The only reason why I'm sure you heard that little blurb not long ago about them saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna invest a lot of money in the next Metal Gear game," especially after all the money that this last one made, they can't not do it. What are they gonna be? The two games they're gonna be making is Pro Evolution Soccer and Metal Gear games, maybe a mediocre Metal Gear game. Because if any of the previous ventures that Konami or any indication, like Lords of Shadow and a couple of the other games they made,
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what happens if Konami comes out, they release Metal Gear Solid 6 or whatever they decide to call it? What if it comes out and it's really good? Like it's one of the best Metal Gear games.
That's good. That's good for them.
They better crazy.
They better make sure they get some talent. But the thing is that knowing the way they've seemed to work in recent years, where the environment that they seem to have doesn't seem to promote like being creative. To make a Pro Evolution Soccer game, you don't exactly need to be creative. You just need to make something that functions. You know what I mean? There's no story. There's no. I mean, as long as the game functions, as long as it does what it needs to do, you're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah.
But with something like a Metal Gear, it's a lot more than that. And I feel like, especially with more story-oriented games, I feel like they will not let whoever takes the reins do what they want to do.
Yeah.
It's sad to say it's gonna probably be like another Halo situation, where you have the studio that may have some of the guys that were maybe responsible for the other last game or the earlier games, but it's not going to work.
Something is missing in translation.
Something is going to be missing. What Bungie brought to Halo is what made Halo great.
Why are you guys talking about Halo? You didn't play it.
I know, but I mean, I played Halo games, and one of the things that I really enjoy. I'm not exactly a first-person shooter game, but I do enjoy the lore of the Halo universe, especially if you ever read any. Like I've read a couple of things about the the lore and reading about it, and that sounds like a really cool universe. And I feel like at least when it comes to this last game, it's just the last two games they're just kind of missing that.
Yeah, I want to jump on something you said. Okay, even though I'm not very good at it, I wholeheartedly believe in math, right? So statistically, it is possible for them to knock it out of the park with a new Metal Gear game. Just out of the out of all realms of possibility, it can happen. So if it's good, that's great. But I'm like, okay, can you capture lightning in a bottle twice? I'm like, can you do it again?
It's like can you capture lightning in a bottle with a totally different situation with a whole totally different bunch of people?
Yeah, so like I said, odds are against it, but it's still a possibility. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, it's a 99% chance it can happen. There's that 1% chance it can happen. You know.
But here's the other thing. Like maybe for the hell of it, maybe they should just put Metal Gear on the shelf for a bit.
They should. That's what I say. But
like you just put it on the shelf for a bit and then try to improve it a few years later. Like look at what happened to Tomb Raider. Or like Tomb Raider, the last few Tomb Raider games, they were decent games, but then there was that gap. I don't know how long the gap was, but there was a gap where there wasn't any Tomb Raider games, and then everybody was seeing Uncharted, and like, why isn't Tomb Raider this? And then finally Tomb Raider comes out, and it's like, oh shit, wow.
Yeah, but the problem is, the last Tomb Raider games, even though they did well, they weren't like super mega successes, right?
Exactly.
So people could wait. The last Metal Gear game was a very, very big success. People are going to want that next one now. You know, and Konami's going to want to capitalize on it. Like, hey, people are still talking about this game. We got to get it out there as quickly as possible. So I would not be surprised if that new Metal Gear game comes out within the next 3 years.
Maybe.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And
maybe they'll develop that last chapter. Metal Gear Solid 5. You know, the chapter that got cut.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
Turn that into a whole game.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 6, Lord of the Flies, right? Wink, wink. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, we'll see about Metal Gear, but Zone of the Enders?
No,
hell no.
The sad thing is that you're not going to see a lot of those Kojima stuff. You're not going to see Bakusai. You're not going to see Zone of Enders. You're not going to see any Snatcher. Only thing you're going to see is that Metal Gear.
Man, some bullshit. All right, anybody have any final thoughts on the Zone of Enders?
No,
not really.
Yeah. All right, so let's wrap that shit up. Once again, Alex, man, thank you for being on, dude.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Yeah. Plug your shit as always, dude.
Oh yeah, same shit as always. You know, Junkie Monkeys. We Twitch stream every day. Twitch.tv/Junkie Monkeys. Twitter Junkie Monkeys. Facebook Junkie Monkeys. You know, my manga's still coming out. It's really close. Nice. I'll let everyone know what's coming out. Yeah, and I think that's it.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, if you want to, you know, really cool sports and follow this man. Actually, if you want some random shit. By the way, thank you, Alex, for putting me onto that. Was it Zola shit? Man.
Oh yeah.
That was internet gold.
Yeah, she took that down though, the original poster. But like you can still find it on the internet. But I mean, she took it down because her mentions were blowing up and she's getting too many notifications. But oh man, that was a great story. I was working overnight shift and I was like, and it was dead, so I just sat down. I read the whole story and I was reading like everyone's. It was crazy because I didn't see anything about the story. I saw someone tweet, "You should read the story, everybody." I read it, and then everyone on my Twitter was like, "Oh, talking about the story." It was so crazy.
Yeah, because I saw it from you. I'm like, okay, like I'll read it because I was getting ready for bed and shit because I had to get up the next day, and I was like, oh, let me read this. It'll take a little bit. That shit was like half an hour later. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, it was like 150 tweets.
Yeah, but it was riveting.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Good. It was good.
All right. So yeah, this week we're gonna talk about the Fallout 4. We'll see how well it performs.
We're gonna talk about the fallout of Fallout 4.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I had a title for it ready, but I forgot it. Hopefully I'll remember it.
Well, you can just call it the Fallout of Fallout 4 if it ends up doing
Fallout. Or, you know, if it's a good game, the Fallout Blowout. I don't know, whatever. Well, I'll figure some shit out. I'll just call it PS4 versus Xbox again to get more hits. All right, guys. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comments section on the Coalition or on YouTube. Make sure to follow the Coalition at thecoalition.com. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available in the description below. Once again, I'm Tony Polano, joined by Emilio Lopez.
I am the master. No, fair. All right.
Alex Nuss.
Goodbye.
And Brian Manjoma.
Just don't be so sensitive, people. It's just video games.
Perfect. All right, guys. Later.
Peace.